anybody as far as prayer requests, special needs this morning? Yes, ma'am.
I actually have two of my cousins. One has breast cancer and one was just diagnosed with lung cancer.
Anyone else?
Rodney Jones.
I was just going to say Rodney Jones had some excitement first part of the week. Had a little fender bender, but both of them were doing fine. Rodney just a little stoved up. Turned out great. Everybody asked, the first question they asked, who was driving? Fortunately, Rodney was driving. Joan would have never lived to that if she was driving. Nobody has anything else. Scott, would you mind leading us in the word of prayer?
Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you, Dr. Jean, for coming out to you guys. Lord, just bless everyone that had, bless people on the prayer with us, Lord, the ones that won't be here and can't. Just go with us on through this service, dear Lord, help us to get the blessings we have us to have right there. Give us our sins, dear Lord. All these things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
If everyone would get their Bibles. It's not me, fortunately. As y'all can see, Andy and Keely and the girls have taken, I think, probably a much needed vacation. They'll be with us today. We do have T.C. Brown, who's come to speak for us, and we're glad to have him. And at this time, we'll turn it over to T.C. and just close how you see fit.
Good morning. Glad to have you out today. Now, I know Andy's not here, but I thank him just thinking about me and asking me to come and just speak today. And everything, the last few weeks I've been praying and searching and seeing what God wanted us to hear today, and I've been doing that, and it makes sense to me. So hopefully it makes sense to you. I hope. What I want to talk to you about today, a lot of times the smallest things can do the greatest things. The smallest things can do the greatest things. You think about it, you think about a seed. Garden, pool and mine, and my cord's about that high. I got a few watermelons, that's about it. But seeds, they can, little seed grows and it's got all the food that we need and all that. And today I want to talk about a very familiar story in the Bible. If you have your Bibles with you today, you'll turn with me to John chapter 6. And we're going to be looking at just a few verses. I'm going to read some, then there's two verses that I really want to kind of focus on. So John 6, starting with verse 5. This is one that I think everybody knows. The 5,000 fed. And I'm just going to read through 5 through 11, and then I want to go back and I want to look at one thing in particular. So starting on verse 5, it says, "When Jesus lifted up his eyes and saw a great company come unto him, he saith unto Philip, When shall we buy bread that these may eat? And this he said to prove him, for he himself knew what he would do. Philip answered him, 200 penny worth of bread is not sufficient for them, that every one of them may take a little. One of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said unto him, There is a lad here, which has 5 barley loaves and 2 fishes. But what are they among so many? And Jesus said, Make the men sit down. Now there was much grass in the place, so the men sat down and numbered about 5,000. And Jesus took the loaves, and when he had given thanks, he distributed to the disciples, and the disciples to them that were set down, and likewise of the fishes as much as they would. So, I want to go back to verses 9 and 10. And it says, there is a lad here, a boy. And that's, first off, I want to, something that really just comes to mind when I think about this story, and I really want to focus in on this little boy right here. Who says God can't use you? Who says God can't use you because of your age, because of what you have? God can use anyone. And that's what we're going to sort of talk about right here. And we talked about this lab. And through some research and things that I looked and tried to study, it said, you know, that some of the scholars and all them believe that the boy, he traveled with this group with Jesus. If all these other people were hungry, this boy was probably the hungriest of them all. I've got one. You probably hear him already. And I'm telling you, he can eat. We'll get done with eating. We'll get done with supper. And if I come in later, then Caleb and the kids already eat. He just wants what I have. We can eat on Sundays, our usual Sunday routine. We go to church, we go eat at Caleb's parents or her mom's, and then we go see Minnie. It's my great-grandmother. Well, Cooley's already ate. He's already played. We get there and we bring Minnie her food, and the first thing Cooley does, he walks up to her and wants it. He just wants by, and she'll sit there and say, man, he's already ate. He just ate it like not 30 minutes ago, and he's still hungry. So I can see this boy right here. You know, first off, he's a child, and then he's a boy, so he's going to want to eat. He's hungry. He's really hungry. And so, what I want to look at today is, look at the faith of the boy that he had. Look at his faith. Because if you go back up a couple of verses, you have Philip, it said, he's all about money. Hey, we ain't got the money to feed all these people. First thing he thinks of, we don't have the money. And then Andrew, he questioned, he said, how is this going to feed everybody? And that's like us sometimes. You know, we'll feel God tugging on our heart and say, I can't do that. I don't have this talent. I can't sing. I can't speak. But we can't do that because I don't have the money to go and help them. God, he wants to use us. He wants to use us in a mighty way. But we look at the boy and just the faith of him. Matthew 18, 2-3 says, Jesus called a little child unto him and set him in the midst of him, and said, verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. We gotta have faith as a child. So, you kind of imagine, this boy, he's walking with the group that's walking with Jesus. So he's hearing stories. He's hearing Jesus talk about the kingdom of heaven. And so, if you can imagine, and I imagine, if he's standing here, all right, he's standing, and if he's Jesus and all the disciples talking, and he just hears them, and he says, you know what? Hey, I got some food, Jesus. Hey, here's my food. He had so much faith in Jesus because he's already heard everything else. He had faith as a child in Jesus, knowing that my little bit that I have can do great things. My little bit can do great things. That I've got some food right here. Use it, Jesus. Use me. Here's all that I have. Use me. He knew that when he gave his all to Jesus, that Jesus was going to do great things. When we give our all to Jesus, just think about the miracles that he can do. When we give all of our hearts, when we give us to Jesus, because Jesus is enough. There was more than enough food. Jesus is more than enough for us. Jesus didn't have to use the boy's food, but he did. And it shows me, as I was thinking about it, shows me, three things. Like I said already, God can use anyone. He can use anyone. We just got to be willing to let him use us. Two, you look at what a small act can do. Just one little small act, boy, just saying, here's my food. Use it. Just think about what a small act can do in other people's lives, especially right now. I mean, I don't know about, going and hugging somebody and all that. I mean, everything that's going on. But just smiling to somebody. Just smile. I mean, we don't know what people are going through. We don't. And I sure don't. I see different stuff. I teach schools, so I see, kids. I see different things. And, kids will sometimes talk. And so you kind of get a sense of what's going on, especially if they're having a bad day. Especially if, you got somebody that's always acting good and just something's wrong with that day. I mean, we don't know what anybody's going through. Because a lot of times we don't talk about it. I should talk about it. Kayla, she'll try it, but you don't talk about it. I'm all right, I'm fine. But we just don't know. So you don't know what that small act can do to somebody. A smile might make somebody's day. Saying hey to somebody. Even though we may go to work and we may walk past them every day. Just think about it. And you may get in a routine, you just smile at somebody. Hey, how you doing? You don't know what that little act can do. And then 3, when we come in faith, knowing that when we give our all to God, He can do great things. He can do all kinds of wondrous miracles. And it reminds me of the story of the widow and the 2 mites. And you don't have to turn there, I've got it right here. Luke chapter 21, it says, and he looked up and saw the rich men casting their gifts unto the treasury. And he saw also a certain poor widow casting in thither 2 mites. And he said, of a truth I say unto you, that this poor widow hath cast in more than they all. For all these have their abundance cast unto the offerings of God. But she of her penury hath cast in all the living that she had. Now, today I'm not talking about offerings. I'm not talking about money. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about giving our all. Giving ourselves to God. This woman right here, she's a widow, and then I looked it up, and 2 mites equaled 1 Roman coin. So they had all these rich men, and they was putting in, their little bit. They're trying to show out. She sat there and just had 2. It said like 2 copper coins. It really wasn't worth nothing, really. It was the smallest amount of currency that they had, and that's all she had. She put it in. The faith that she had. She gave her all to God. And it reminds me of Kayla used to have a shirt, and you probably have seen it, but it's the shirt was like a stick figure. It's a little stick figure, and it's holding his heart up to God right here. And it said, "This is all I have." God said, "This is all I want. This is all I have. That's all I ever want. I just want all of you." And that's what we've got to do. There are times it reminds me of a little story. It's a sort of a skit thing. It's called The Stool. Some of y'all may have seen it. You may have heard of it. But this guy, there's a stool sitting here, and he gives his life to Jesus. He said, "Jesus, you're in control. You can have the stool." So whoever sits on that stool is the one that controls, makes decisions and all that. Well, Jesus on the stool, he's standing over here. Everything's going good. Well, somebody says, "Hey, you want to go do this with me? You want to go do this?" And he's like, "Yeah, I kind of do." So he inches a little closer to the stool. And Jesus said, "I thought you wanted me to be in control of your life. You gave your life to me." "Oh yeah, I do." And he gets back up. Well, he gets back on and he does it again. And every time that he's in control of that stool, he's making a mess out of his life. Because he did give his all to God. He did give his all. But then, when we want to be in control, we make a mess. But when we give our hearts, everything we have, to God, He can do wondrous things. He can do so much more than we could ever think about. But all it takes is us